Many times our lives are put under threat by different individuals in society. Many times we go through social things like breakups and also economic and social aspects like our finances and entrusting different people with our numbers to feel like they're no longer a threat to our life. In today's video, I'm here to discuss with you what are the legal remedies when someone stalks you uncontrollably, when someone stalks you without considering what it's doing to your anxiety levels or your depression levels. In today's world, we battle with so much competing demands, financial demands, health demands, and the last thing you need is someone who is going to stalk you non-stop and leave you without peace of mind. Today's video, I'm here to discuss with you what a restraining order is and what are the best remedies for someone who is going through such a situation, and indeed you may even feel like your life is under threat. So let's go. So you may be wondering what a restraining order is. And a restraining order is basically a form of an injunction. I have talked about injunctions on this channel, and I'm going to leave the link in the description below. But basically, a restraining order in relation to the Black's Law Dictionary basically means that a restraining order is an order given by courts and under the laws of Uganda or any other country, which stop a certain person from doing a certain action or thing. So a restraining order is basically the child of an injunction. Injunctions, restraining orders, these are basically orders that are issued out by court, of course, by a judge, who is then going to say that, you know what, I've heard that in this case, William is going to stalk Mary, or William has been stalking Mary for a very long time. Let's say for about 10 years, or even a month, non-stop, and Mary can no longer get peace. Then he's going to issue out a restraining order, which is, by the way, valuable in court and is valid in court. If anyone ever violates a restraining order, then that person is in contempt of court, and therefore court can even put that person in jail for contempt of court. So I hope you can now understand what a restraining order is. Anyone can get a restraining order once they file a normal application to a judge in a competent court of law. This can be a magistrate's court, but in most cases, restraining orders are ordered under the High Court. You may be wondering what are the laws that govern injunctions or restraining orders in this case, since we're discussing restraining orders in this video. We have the Civil Procedure Act of Uganda, and in specific, Section 98 of the Civil Procedure Act basically states that the High Court, especially a judge in the High Court, has inherent powers to be able to grant any order which court deems fit. So basically, a judge in a competent court of law, especially the High Court, has a right to grant a restraining order or any other order that they deem fit in any ongoing case or in an application. Now, this may be a bit confusing for you. Let me explain to you what an application is, for those of you who are not lawyers but are benefiting from Simply Legal. We have a case being this table. Imagine that this is a case like a trial, let's say a family trial, because restraining orders are put up in family issues and criminal issues in most cases. So if this whole case is representation of a case, then in the middle of the case, you find that the plaintiff is stalking the defendant, or the defendant is stalking the plaintiff non-stop, and they keep harassing them, assaulting them, beating them, causing battery, causing injury to them. Now, in the middle of this ongoing case, we have this book being a representation of an application. So this, in the middle of a case, there can be another case that is coming up. So let's say in the case of William versus Mary, criminal case number this and this and this of Uganda. In the middle of this, once Mary feels like her life is under threat because she took William to court, then Mary's lawyer can then file an application even within the criminal trial, and then it will now be still Mary versus William in the application of a restraining order or of an injunction. Now, Mary will then tell her lawyer that, you know what, William is stalking me, he's beating our kids, beating me because I took him to court, he's freezing our accounts. So now that means that the lawyer for Mary is going to file for an application for a restraining order, and then the judge can then grant that restraining order even within the criminal trial. So they can tell William that, you know what, you're no longer supposed to be within 100 yards of Mary's vicinity. I'll give an example. Let me take you back to Chris Brown and Rihanna. Of course, many of us know that Chris Brown at one point dated Rihanna. They're both pop stars and celebrities all over the world. However, one fateful evening when they were driving and they had a very big fight, Chris Brown, not being man enough, ended up beating Rihanna. He laid his hands on her, and it was all over social media. I think that was about 2007, 2008, or about 2009. He beat Rihanna, and of course Rihanna she pressed charges, but eventually she ended up filing for a restraining order against Chris Brown. And I think even up to date, that has estranged their relationship so much that they can no longer be within even walking years. I think it was about 100 meters. So that's a very, very long time time, and it was a very big damage on Chris Brown's reputation. So I'll just give an example of what a restraining order is, and for the kind of space the judge would deem fit for William not to be in the space of Mary. So I'm glad that I've explained all of that for you. Now, other law that also explains what restraining orders basically are is Section 33 of the Judicature Act. Now, Section 33 basically states that a restraining order or an injunction, in basically any form of order which stops a certain person from doing a certain thing, is coming as a form of remedy. Now, I've explained what remedies are. Remedies are basically solutions. So in this video, these are basically solutions for stalkers and also solutions for people who endanger other people's lives with threats, with blackmails. So Section 33 states that a restraining order is also a part of a remedy. So the High Court is within its right. It has every right to be able to grant a restraining order as a remedy for someone who is seeking for a temporary remedy. A restraining order can, I would say, it's a semi-permanent or semi-temporary. It's in between temporary and permanent, because a judge needs to deem it fit that the person who is filing for the order, their life is under threat, and without this order, they might even be killed. So this restraining order comes in as a remedy to be able to fix this person's sanity, I mean their social well-being and whatever the matter is. Now, maybe wondering, finally, what does it take for someone to file for a restraining order in court? Restraining order can be filed for through a notice of motion and a miscellaneous application. Now, all of my lawyer friends, my legal colleagues, you all know what a miscellaneous application is, so I'll not explain it so much. But for the lay people, I'll explain what a notice of motion is. A notice of motion is you're trying to move court to with an application to state that this person, Mary, I'll still go back to the example of Mary and William. Mary is filing for an application for a restraining order against William. Why? William was her husband and they're now going through a divorce. But William is threatening Mary and even threatening her life and taking away her kids away from her. So she is filing for this restraining order, basically trying to protect her life, her children, and her sanity. So I guess that's just basically it. I wanted to give you a sneak peek on what a restraining order is. And by the way, you can get a restraining order against anyone, as long as you can be able to prove the grounds to court that, you know what, my life is under threat. This person has access to me at any time. This person has had a history of stalking me. They have had my numbers. I've kept on changing numbers, but they keep, I don't know, going to Airtel or MTN, whatever service provider. They keep asking for my new number. They keep stalking me. They keep sending me pictures and messages that I don't want to receive from them. So a restraining order is something that is very necessary in today's society. I do not blame anyone, especially the women, the ladies, the people who are most vulnerable towards gentlemen, I honestly, on a side note, I don't know why you can't take no for an answer. If a lady has told you no, then just take the no. Just take the L. Because the moment she files a restraining order against you, then it's going to damage your reputation and you now have a court order against you. The moment you come, let's say a restraining order says you're not supposed to come within 100 meters of Mary, and William now comes within even 50 meters of her, then that means that he has violated the court order, and the lawyer can go back to court and then state that William has broken this restraining order, he has violated it, he's in contempt of court, and they'll take you to jail for about 5 years plus. So you wouldn't really want that on your hands. But however, personally, as the lawyers, we're very happy to file restraining orders against you. And yeah, that's just basically it. Before I go, there was a case of Tibei Wayo versus Namuli. And in this case, it was actually the man who was filing the restraining order against his ex-wife. They were going through a divorce at the time, but he kept on shifting to their new house in Mutungo from the house in Bugolobi, and she kept following him there, issuing threats and embarrassing him, I think even hitting him. Then he kept moving back to his other house. So at some point, he had to ask court for a restraining order against his former wife, who was Namuli. I'll leave the link in the description about their case, but it was just to show you how ugly family issues and issues in general can always go whenever it comes to someone asking for a restraining order. So thanks so much for listening to me, everyone. Please feel free to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, share this video with different people. And I love the fact that you people are loving Simply Legal, my tribe. I love the fact that you're loving Simply Legal and the channel is going places. Please share with me your ideas that you'd want me to talk about in future videos. And until next time, I'll see you. Cancel out. Bye.